Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. On tonight's show, we are entitling Orisha, the African religions explained. We have live from Lagos, Nigeria, the Babalawo in the studio. We've got Black Lotus Civilization giving us a breakdown of the Orisha, the Ifa system, getting initiated as well. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest, Black Lotus Civilization, first and foremost, the Babalawo from Nigeria, Lagos.
Aboru to everyone. Alafia.
Alafia, how far?
Alafia.
Alafia.
Shianod Wiaria. Greetings.
Greetings indeed. Wow, this is absolutely amazing. We're going to have the traditional African religion, philosophy, concepts explained today on the show. So if everybody's out there and they're listening in live right now, let everybody know we're started. Let everybody know we're started. So just hit that share button, and let everybody know that we are live. And obviously, if you haven't yet subscribed to the show, please just hit that subscribe button just up there and let everybody know, you are subscribed and you're watching Talk with the Titans right now. Okay, with that being said, actually, let me introduce, we've got a few panel members who are here with us today. We've got one of our brothers actually from the UK. We've got a young Titan, up-and-coming Titan, that will be doing a discourse about this very soon, hopefully next week. So, Brother Tay, are you there?
I'm here. Greens to everybody locked in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, live and direct.
Good.
So greetings, my brother. Live from London, UK as well. We've also got our brother Basim who's here. So greetings to you, my brother Basim. He's one of our, biggest YouTube supporters. So if you're a YouTube supporter and you would love to be featured on the show as well, just type in the chat box right now, hashtag Talk with the Titans or Team Titans, and visit the Facebook group Talk with the Titans. Drop me a message in there and I'll make sure you are on the panel or featured in an upcoming event. So now, Babalawo, I know you're there. But before that, actually, I want to let everybody know we've got the brother Tazaria from the ISUPK will be coming in a couple of weeks' time to give us a wonderful interview. They've got their Passover taking place, in April. So look out for that. If you haven't checked it out as of yet, just type in ISUPK Passover and see what they've got in store for you. All right. So Babalawo, give us kind of like an overview of what you're going to be discussing with us today.
Actually, I'm going to be discussing Ifa Orisha, the reasons why we all need Ifa initiation, and the reason why we need to dump the Western medicine for the African herbs.
Great. All right. So next week, Shango, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, excellent. So what have you got in store for us as well?
Well, what is it?
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. So could you just repeat that?
I got an interruption. What was your question?
Okay, my question is, could you just give us a brief overview of what you've got in store for us today?
Well, I am in full support as Babalawo Alelekan is here on the show to discuss the importance of abandoning Western medicine in favor of healing with African herbs. I myself am an advocate of leaning more towards spiritual growth and development and healing for African people, as opposed to all this overemphasis on reading and accumulating knowledge in the form of historical references and books and lectures. I think too much emphasis on social media, too much is stressed on how much books you've read, how much you know, who knows more, what lecture you've seen, what debate you've seen. These things to me do not address our common true problems. And if something is not addressing, we are in a crisis. We are still in a crisis. And these things have to be addressed on different levels. And I feel like the current frame of mind that's being promoted does not address the entire wholeness or whole problem. It does not create a holistic solution. For us, we need more than just gathering historical information and comparing how much we know about the history. We need direct solution.
Indeed, indeed. I definitely
So that's my stance and my purpose in what I do in all things. It leads to that direction.
Okay, great. All right. And for everybody who's actually joining us right now from YouTube land and Facebook, please keep your mics on mute at all times, okay? Because we are live right now. So, brother Emily, I've got a question for you. You know,
Yes.
you lot are called, you know, the collective. You've got a collective that is, you know, all over America, all over Africa. And you lot have chosen the name Black Lotus Civilization. I would like to know the significance of the Black Lotus and Black Lotus Civilization.
Okay, the Black Lotus Civilization originally is the name of the radio station where the base of our information and knowledge comes out of what was represented in what is called the Neccan Temple. And through the Neccan Temple, many studies and many practices were formulated. So in fact, it's more bringing it back to the original way of Africa, you know. And it actually ties into traditional medicines and remedies over New Age medicine, New Age remedies. But to go further to explain it, it's a location inside of Egypt. And Neccan is located in Egypt, and you will find hieroglyphs as well in this area, and it's called Heracleopolis in the Greek language. So what happens is you will find this is where the horoscope center was started. And not only this, it is also considered to be the first zoo. You will find the symbol for Henu on almost every wall that is left. Now, majority of it has been destroyed, but what is left, we find that they had a strict way of living, strict type of health, you know, and they took care of animals. So they were into nature, more natural, you know, more into the forest and the jungle way of living. Being a radio station, this has been the base of it. At the same time, it's into what we can call ancient science. You know, I know people might be jumping that I said the word science, but ancient science, when I say ancient science or ancient medical science, that is getting into OBS, what we're going to present today. So in turn, it's more traditional, even though it's the zoo is, when you look up Neccan, Heracleopolis, and the Lotus Temple, as many will call it, you will find that they mention animals, but when you go look on the walls, you will find symbols of herbs as well. And on May 5th, we will have April 5th, excuse me, we will have a little more to show that will totally explain it. But in a shorter span of time, it's getting back to the original way, bringing it back, you know. And it was also a place where unification happened in Egypt, where North met South, where it was unified.
Okay. I would like to know as well, like, how did this collective actually come about? Because everybody is in, very vast locations from each other. So I would like to know, how did this collective, come together, and why did it come together?
That's a good question. It started as me and my co-host that when we started the Black Lotus Civilization broadcast in 2008, a brother named Hanuk, who was from Ethiopia, and through Enoch, as some will call him, I was introduced to Omosongo. And from that time on, Hanuk being from Ethiopia, Omosongo family and bloodline being from Cameroon, it brought us, all together. We really don't know how. But to say it in a way to not be spooky, I guess you could say it's something spiritual. Maybe it's something spiritual about it all.
Wow.
You know.
I think there is a thread that connects all of us together. Everybody that is seeing this now, was supposed to see this now. I think there's some underlying force that brings us together and raises our conscious level and our moral levels to kind of be unified with each other. So I feel you on that level, definitely. But I want to go to the Babalawo now. I've got a few questions for the Babalawo, because a lot of the people out there are very intrigued, with traditional African, sciences, religion, culture, customs. They're intrigued by it, and at the same time, they kind of, at standoff because they don't really understand it, they don't really know it. They've heard so many different conflicting, voices of opinions on it. So I would like you to actually clear things up for us. What exactly is the Ifa system?
Ifa system is the direct speech of Olodumare. Olodumare is the supreme being, the God who is above all. Ifa is the word from the supreme being, and this word was given to the deity called Oromila, who happens to be the anchor, who happens to be the deity in charge of this Ifa, in charge of these words. Ifa is known to be the witness to destiny. He is the only one who witnessed every human being's destiny. That is why it is important for every one of us to get initiated into Ifa, so we can know why exactly we are on earth, so we can live a fulfilled destiny. Because it happens, situation like somebody who happens to be a mechanic, a automobile worker, and who was destined to be a banker. Imagine how this person has been gone away from his path, from the path that she had chosen from heaven. So this is why we all need Ifa initiation. When this person is into Ifa, once initiation is done, we can be able to trace why this person has come on earth, what has this person brought from heaven to help bless other humanity. Why does this person have to do this work? Why do you think some people will have to be working as a banker and they in the exact amount of somebody who work as a laborer? because they are not doing what they are destined to be doing. These are the reasons why we need Ifa and we need initiation, so we can know why and what we should be doing, and situation whereby we don't get missing from our choosing destiny. Because once we are away from it, it is either you get initiation into Ifa, then find yourself back, or you are lost totally and die not knowing what you're destined to do. Those are what we call Ifa.
Okay. So everybody who's listening right now, we are live. We are live. Let everybody know that we are live right now as well. We've got the Babalawo in the studios, live from Lagos, Nigeria, answering our questions on the IFA system right now. Okay, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Please just hit that subscribe button just up there. Hit that subscribe button so you can stay up in tune with all of our shows. You get updates and notifications when we have amazing shows like this taking place. We've got the brother from ISUPK, Tazaria, coming into the studios in the next couple of weeks. We've got some brothers from the UK and from Israel coming into the studios next week. We've also got Dr. Wesley Muhammad coming into the studios next month, and we've got a whole host of Titans coming through. So if you want to see this greater range of Titans passing through, hit that subscribe buttons. And also, if you hit the subscribe button right now above or just down below, you'll be able to see all of our past shows with Dr. Ali Muhammad, Nazi Yashavel, Gorilla Hebrew, Shaka Ahmos, the Amun Ra squad as well. So please, keep up to date with what we've got in store for you. Brother Babalawo, earlier on, you mentioned, a few names that I don't think our audience are quite familiar with. You mentioned the Orisha, you mentioned Orumila, you mentioned quite a few of the Orisha themselves. So there's quite a few Orisha. There's Obatala, there's Yemeya, Ogun, Shango. So there's so many of these names and titles and divinities. Could you give a kind of an expansion of what exactly is the Orisha? So, if in case you didn't hear me, I'm going to ask you again, could you just give us an expansion, a kind of much more of a detailed understanding of the Orisha itself? Can you hear me? Okay, I think we may just be having some technical difficulties. So there's so much of these deities that we've heard so much about. Some of us have heard so much about. All these different Orisha, and we are used to over here in the West. I'll say we're kind of used to monotheistic religions or monotheistic faiths, whether it's Islam, Christianity, or Hebrewism, etc. And we might have some conflicting ideas about deities, having so many deities. Is this pantheistic? What is it? Because we're used to a monotheistic way of thinking and a monotheistic way of living. So I don't know if there's any clarification that our brother Babalawo, when he comes back, if he's here with us right now, to kind of give us an explanation of these Orisha. What are these forces? Are they forces within inside of nature? Are they the forces within inside of ourselves? Are these divine principles that will be able to guide us in this life and the afterlife? Are these, deified ancestors? Are these people that were great, the great kings, great queens, great people that was renowned, that got deified, and their spirit lives on? It lives on, within inside of the etheric or the spiritual world, or it lives on within inside of the initiatic system. What is all these things about when a Lao or a Orisha or a being or Ori mounts you and takes over you and possesses you, and you're able to speak certain things out. So I'm going to ask the brother again, Babalawo, could you give us a detailed expansion of the Orisha for us? Okay. I think NEPA has taken away the electricity in Nigeria at the moment, so bear with us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. So, Brother Emu, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. So I know you've also, a part of, or you are familiar with the IFA system. Could you give us some insight on Shango, or having a shrine inside of your house?
Well, I mean, to my knowledge, Shango is a deity that many will say represents thunder and other explanations about it. I personally would rather let the Babalawo explain it, but when it comes to Shango, it's a protection perfect. There goes Babalawo.
Hello? Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Hello, sorry for the interruption.
No problem.
When we talk about the Orishas, we have 801 Orishas. 400 of the Orisha are known to be the deities who come from heaven to visit earth and go back to heaven. They often frequent the heaven and earth. Part of this Orisha are Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Oshun, Oya, Iyemoja, Shopono, Oshosi, Orisha Oko, Nana, Bayoni, Dada, and the other 400 of the Orishas are the Orisha that are permanently in heaven. 200 of them are at the right side of Oludumare, and the other 200 is at the left side of Oludumare. They never leave. Then the other one to complete the 801 is the Orumila. Most of these Orisha some of them have been on earth once or twice. It is their Ori that choose them to be an Orisha, and this is why we call them Orisha. Orisha means he whose Ori had selected. These people are known to be people who have done something great on earth that people will never for once forget them. These are the people who we call Orisha. They were created by Oludumare, and they were on earth to do one thing or the other. When we talk about what they have done, when we talk about Ogun, Ogun is known to be the god of iron. And Ogun is known to be the one who teaches the hunter how to hunt. Ogun is known to be the one who taught the blacksmiths how to mold guns, how to mold how to mold machetes, how to mold other things made out of irons. Oromila is known to be the one who teaches people how to act good, how to act accordingly, how to behave normal. So these are the roles the Orisha had played when they once visited or lived on earth, and this is why we call them Orisha.
Okay, and you know what? I've got a question now. So, how would one get to know about their Ori? How does one know about, the Ori on their head? How does one know who exactly they are themselves?
When somebody gets initiated into Ifa, Ifa lets us know which Orisha or Irumole is affiliated to us. only initiation can let you know you are affiliated to this, you are affiliated to that, except the Orisha that are in your paternal lineage. When you get initiated, you will be told, because we will trace your Ifa, then be able to know which are the Orishas that you are affiliated to. This is the only way.
Okay, man. So now, a lot of our people, especially over in the West and possibly in Nigeria as well, they're bombarded with Nollywood films. Okay, they're bombarded with Nollywood films. They're bombarded with typical Christian stereotypes that kind of demonizes the traditional way of life. And soon as they hear the word initiation, in their hearts, they get scared. They're frightened of these words being initiated. They're frightened of visiting a medicine man. They're frightened of the traditional, customs, so to speak. So, what kind of words can you offer to those people, to kind of dispel those myths that, Nollywood and certain other films, and Hollywood has portrayed the IFA system and the traditional systems to be?
When we talk about what the Nollywood have been portraying about Yoruba or other African tradition, I say it is totally zero, because most of these people are not into this lineage. Most of these Nollywood actors, actresses are Muslim or Christians. They only think and formulate their stories. They have never been there or ever witnessed what they are portraying. That is why you will see most of the chants they chant in the films are totally rubbish, because none of them are basically into these traditions. They are either Alaji or an Alaja, or they are JP or whatsoever. What I know is they are not into Ifa or Orisha tradition. So they are portraying the tradition the other way around, not the exact way it has been. So I must say they are not teaching people the proper way. They are getting people wrong when we talk about the Nollywood. And this is why we see so many people getting scared of getting initiation, because normally one thing I have discovered is when somebody is going through spiritual problem, you don't take them to church or mosque. When you take them to church or mosque, definitely you put more danger, because they will only be there without any solution. But when you see Nollywood movie, the church or the mosque is the place where the solution lies. So you should be able to see that these people are not letting people know what exactly is going on or what exactly the solution should be.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, so basically these portrayals of, these medicine men, so-called witch doctors or wise doctors, are more or less false. Okay. So I'd like to know if one actually wanted to, be initiated, or they've got the concepts and the thoughts that they want to be initiated, how would one have to, prepare themselves for that journey of initiation? Do they need to learn more, by reading books about the IFA system? Do they need to learn more about the Orisha? Do they need to learn about the divination system? What do they need to do to prepare themselves, to kind of take that step to get initiated?
Getting initiated as only minimum, very little preparation. The preparation I think somebody who is coming to get initiated need is their preparation for traveling, then the fee they have to pay for the initiation, then them getting fully ready for the initiation. Other than that, every other thing is to be done by the priest who is getting them initiated. And as for that, after the initiation, we usually teach people how to get divination done and how to read the odus. We get people to understand it so they can understand what they are doing, what they have initiated into. Normally, not everybody who initiate Ifa must be a divining Babalawo. Some 90% of people who get initiated into Ifa get initiated for them to be able to know what the path they have chosen is, not necessarily to be able to divine for other people. But as for people who are to work as a Babalawo, they are going to get the knowledge. They are going to learn it, either they like it or not. Because when you don't learn it, you are not a Babalawo. But when you do, you become a Babalawo. Then you can be able to get other people's problems solved.
Okay. So, if I get this correctly, then you're basically saying that, you know, there's kind of like various routes you can go with inside of the IFA system. You can be, you know, you can be initiated to simply know your destiny, to know what head is on you, to know what Ori is on you, basically, and you know your destiny, how to live your life, how to best prepare yourself for your travels and your journeys within inside of this world. And then there's another state where you can become a Babalawo, where you can become a diviner. You can, you know, people come to you and you'll be there to solve their problems. And that is a longer journey of, you know, of different rights and education system that you need to learn as well. Would that be correct in saying? Okay.
Yes, normally for somebody who is to become a diviner, the minimum period for their learning is 3 years.
Wow.
And there has never been anybody who had learned the whole verse of Ifa. It is never possible. Because if you are able to chant 100 of a particular Odu, somebody will be able to chant something that you have never heard before. So nobody will be able to say, I am the best or I am the superior. But the minimum for you to be able to go as a Babalawo is 3 years for learning. After your 3 years, then you can be able to learn from this, to learn from that, to learn from whoever you meet.
Okay. So YouTube land, you know, if you're liking the information that you're hearing so far, please let us know. Give us a big thumbs up. Let us know that you're appreciating the information. Also, leave your comments inside of the chat box as well. We love reading them, and you know, when we get into the latter half of the show, we shall be reading out any questions and commentary that you may have. Okay. So yeah. Peace to the family out there as well. Peace to the, you know, our Yoruba family. Peace to Asai and Hotep, who's locked in right now. Peace to our brother Virtue. Peace to all the people from the UK who are actually staying up late tonight and tuning in and watching this momentous occasion. This is magnificent. I love it. So I'd like to know as well, in terms of its relation, the IFA system, in its relation to other systems within inside of the African continent. Actually, let me kind of narrow it down. Within inside of, let's say, you know, West Africa, you know, such as the, you know, we have the airway, we have, you know, the river states. Let's say, for example, you know, within inside of the river states in southern Nigeria, Igbo land, moving, you know, further into Cameroon. There is the Leopard Society, and the Leopard Society is said to be kind of like a sacred and secret society within inside of kind of the West African religion systems. So I would like to ask you, does the Ifa system have any relationship with the leopard society or any societies outside of the Ifa system? Does it trade off ideas with other people?
Oh, what I have experienced is most of these societies that people are seeing as secret society, most of them function as social society because they are only going in there. People have only been going there to learn about this, learn about that, not the tradition or the custom of any land. So they are not anything occultic except being social. It is only social gathering when you talk about things like that. When you talk about fraternities like Ogboni, who's supposed to be the ones in charge of the system of the Yoruba culture, but they are not functioning because of the people within the society, which makes them functions more like social gatherings.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I definitely hear you on that. And with inside of those systems as well, we see it trickle down. Usually every I don't know how many months, every 3 months, there is always a big social gathering. We have our parents would actually house the whole village. All the people from the village would come around, all the chiefs. We'll actually have a society meeting to kind of say, how shall we now govern our village? How can we help out? So would you say it's a similar setup as that? Okay.
Hello, please come again. I couldn't
Okay.
be able to hear you.
Okay, basically, for a lot of us who are in the UK and USA as well, from Nigerian backgrounds, Yoruba background, etc. We kind of notice that every so many months, every few months, there is always a gathering of different people that supposedly come from the same village, and the whole family gets together. There is the big cookout that takes place, and the elders kind of just go off into one little corner and they sit down and it feels like they're discussing politics, how to govern, how to govern their village back home, what issues are taking place, how, where to send funds, etc. So would you say, those societies, like the Boni society, is something similar to those, gatherings that our parents may do, every 3 months or so?
Yes, this is why I said most of these gatherings are supposed to be functioning as fraternities, but now they are functioning as social club. You won't tell me a gathering led by a pastor or a deaconess is doing the course of the tradition. Go and learn about these gatherings. Most of the members are either Alaji or an Alaja. They are Muslims or either Christians. So they are not functioning. They are not really doing the course. They are not following the tenets of the tradition. So they have finally derailed from the path which these groups are founded. They have been far away from it. So they are not function as anything fraternity or occultic. They
Babalawo, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sorry, you cut off a little bit. Could you finish up what you were just saying?
I said situation whereby a gathering is led by a pastor or a deaconess. You cannot tell me that gathering is functioning as any fraternity or occultic. It is more like a social gathering because these gatherings have totally derailed from the tenets and foundation which they are built upon. They have been functioning as social clubs because they are not doing the cause, they are not doing the reason, they are not playing the roles why they are founded. They have totally derailed.
Okay. And I've got a quick question for you. This is coming actually from the YouTube right now, and they're actually asking about how do we find, the appropriate Olua for Itefa for invitation. Like how can we get invited over, to be initiated? Because one can't simply, go over there and be initiated, or can they go over there and be initiated, or do they need to have a tutor, that invites them to be initiated? Hello, Babalawo. Okay, somehow you're muted. I can't hear you. Okay. I'm going to bring it over to my brother Emu. Emu, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear the brother Babalawo?
No, I can't hear him.
Okay.
So I'm a song. You with us too?
Okay. So I think if the Babalawo just, kind of recalls back in again, hopefully his situation will improve. So, so the question is, when he does come back, does one have to wait to be invited over for the initiation? Or can one simply go over to Nigeria and become initiated? Furthermore, can one be initiated into the IFA system whilst in America or whilst in the UK as well? We know that, in South America and in the West Indies, in certain places, there's the Santeria, that's continuing, it's a lineage that continues, and the initiations take place there. But it would be very interesting to know, can one be initiated? Hello, Babalawo. So,
Hello.
so the first question I've got for you is, does one have to wait for an invitation to be initiated? Okay.
Hello.
Babalawo, yes, we can hear you. So does one have to wait?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
We can hear you. We can hear you. So the question is, does one have to wait to be invited before they can go for initiation?
As I was saying earlier, getting initiation is not something so hard. I have been making an invitation for people to come here for initiation. The only thing I do is have their name and their address, then make them invitation for them to go to the Nigerian consulate and get their visa. It's very, very easy to be done. Once they contact me, I will give them the invitation and they can come for initiation.
Okay. So is there any, what is the best way to get in contact with someone that can give them an invite to be initiated? Or are you, kind of like, since you're here right now, are you the best go-to guy for invitations? So I'll repeat the question again. How can someone find, a person that can give them an invitation to be initiated, or are you the best go-to guy to be initiated? Babalawo?
I think it froze again.
Okay, it's froze again. So we have to apologize. As I said, when I was Babalawo? Okay. It's going again. It's going again. We can't hear you. So if you're trying to call back in again, try to put you back on again. So, you know, hopefully, if you can you talk now? Can you talk now? Babalawo, can you talk to see if it works? No, we still can't hear you. We still can't hear you. All right. So, let me actually get into the. If you could just call back. Let me get into some more of these questions. You know, what is the purpose for initiation? You know, we have our brother Asim Hotep. You know, he's here. I don't know if you haven't, you know, seen Asim Hotep. He's our grandmaster linguist. He's actually, you know, part of the IFA system itself. So if you would like to ask him any questions with inside of the chat room as well, he's there live in the YouTube chat room. So if you have any questions for him right now live, you know, ask away. Also, come visit us on our Facebook group, Talk with the Titans. That's Talk with the Titans. And we got a host of these titans are inside there that can give you a breakdown, you know, on the language, such as Asim Hotep. If you're stuck with anything along those lines, if you also need help to do with the IFA system and learn more about that, you know, come to Talk with the Titans as well. If you're a part of the Hebrew community and you want to know more, you know, about your Hebrew culture and you've got questions and you want to debate some information or get something out of your head, you know, come visit us on Talk with the Titans as well. So my brother Asim Hotep says today, you know, call me by my Yoruba name. All right, that's beautiful right there. You know. So Babalawo, is he back? No, he's not back. So we're gonna go through a few more of these questions on the YouTube right now. So some people are asking the purpose of initiation. I think you need to go back and kind of read that again to see what it is. You know. We've got other people in the chat room breaking down the Orisha, Olorun, you know, how they relate, you know, to the Egyptian or the Kemetic way or the Kemetic systems, and some even relate it to the Elohim as well.
Babalawo has just signed back in.
Oh, Babalawo was just signed back in. Perfect. Okay, so Babalawo.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So people are asking, what is the best way to get an invite to be initiated? Who do they contact?
The best way to get invitation for initiation is let them write me. I will have their information, then make them invitation, including my my front page of my passport. Then they go with it to the embassy, to Nigerian consulate. Then they have their visa. That is the way to do it. I've been issuing the visa for a very long time, and people have been getting the invitation. I've been issuing the invitation, and people have been getting their visa.
Okay. Wow. So this leads me on to the next question. Does one have to travel, you know, to Yoruba land? Does one have to travel, you know, to Nigeria to be initiated? Or can one stay in the UK, the Netherlands, France, the USA and be initiated?
Yes, to get initiated, they have to come down here to get initiation to get their initiation done. That is the way it is done. Nobody will ever be here and get anyone initiated without the person initiation being present. It is never done. So they have to be here.
That's right. And I've seen that it's a craze as well. Like, you know, in South America and the West Indies, you know, there's the Saneter that's going on. And even them, you know, that's continued that tradition, you know, through, you know, through being traveling over into those areas. They continue that, but they're also coming, you know, in bulk numbers into Nigeria to be reinitiated as well.
I don't actually have to condemn their Santeria or Lukumi system, because I think it has been working for them, and that is why they have been serious with it. But one thing I know is, I noticed that when you talk about Lukumi initiation into Ifa, they give one Ikin, whereby here we give 42 Ikin. One thing that I know is wrong about the Lukumi system is, with only one Ikin, you need minimum of 19 Ikin to do a normal Ifa divination. So how can you get Ifa divination when you have only one Ikin? It is not done. It can't work. So the normal way is to have your full set of Ikin, so your 19 pieces can be used for a normal divination. One is not even able for for a divination. So anybody who knows they need a proper initiation should get initiated into the Yoruba system of initiation into Ifa.
Could you just explain? You said a key term that I know a lot of our audience aren't familiar with. You said, it can't be done with one Akin, it needs to be done with 19. Was it 19 you stated?
Come again, please.
Yes, you said that it cannot be done with one Akin. So could you kind of explain that term for people so they can understand?
What I'm actually explaining is divination. After your initiation, you need divination often and often to know what Ifa has for you. And a normal divination requires 19 set of Ikin. But when you initiate Lukumi system of Ifa, you are given only one Ikin. And when you initiate Yoruba system, you are given 42 pieces of Ikin, which out of the 42, 19 of it can be used for divination. But if you're given one, how can you be able to go through divination? That means you are not having the normal thing.
That's right. So could you give us, an insight on the Odu Ifa as well, please?
Odu Ifa is known to be divided into two. The 16 basic and the 240 combined. The 16 basic are known to bet the 240, which makes the total of 256 pieces of Odu. Each of the 256 is known to have nothing less than 8,000 stanzas. So as a Babalawo, you will only recite what you know out of the 8,000. This is a reason why nobody will be able to know the whole verse of Ifa. You will only be able to recite what you know, which is even will never be up to 100 of one out of the 256. So the total number of the Odu Ifa is 256, which comprise of 16 basic and 240 combined Odus.
Okay. So, and you see, there's a lot of key Yoruba terms here that I know our audience aren't familiar with. So could you give us, what is the breakdown of the word Odu?
The Odu, when we talk about Odu, we have two things called Odu. The first Odu we know is the Odu Ifa. That is the corpus, the binary of the Ifa. The second Odu is the womb, which is which is another deity, which happens to be one of the wives of Oromila. this Odu is very, very important when initiation is going on. And this deity is not something we can discuss online or discussed wherever women are listening. So we have two different type of Odu. One is the Odu Ifa, and the other is the deity called Odu.
Is it possible to give the audience an insight into the legend or the story as to why women or women aren't allowed to hear that particular information?
Nothing out of the information should be discussed wherever women are listening.
But I mean,
no part of it should be discussed. The only thing they will only hear is Odu, nothing other than that.
But could you give the audience the legend of what happened, when a particular woman heard, a certain Odu, and what took place as to why, we are advised not for the women to learn or to hear that information? Or can't we discuss that right now? Are you there, my brother? Okay. You see, the Orisha is listening. I should have actually mentioned that, I guess. So, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, no, it's cutting out again. All right. So we'll move on from that. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for my brother to get back. The audience actually are asking, are the Black Lotus civilization going to speak about February 8th debate, Kemet on trial, and their involvement? Will they, will they talk about that? Will they let the cat out of the bag of the information that they've been sharing with their Hebrew brothers? Why they shared the information with the Hebrew brothers, and supposedly going against, Kemetic, the Kemetic community. So why did they share that information? Was their information correct? So a lot of the community out there want to know about this. What exactly? Why did the Black Lotus share the information? So hopefully, a little bit later on, we can go into that and talk about that. Talk about their involvement. And was they actually at the February the 8th debate? I think they were at the February the 8th debate, and I think they were scheduled to actually present some information, which is quite interesting. So we're just waiting for the Babalawo to return right now, and hopefully, I'm gonna try to, pull his legs. I'm gonna try to bend him a little bit and see if he can share some of that Odu Ifa with us. Can you give us a chant live on air? So we can feel like we're in the heartland, the homeland of Yoruba land or of Nigeria. We're in the village, where we've got the little hens and chickens running around. Everybody's just sitting on the floor and chanting the Odu Ifa. Come on, we need to get that feel. We need to get that feel. So, Omushango, are you there as well? Okay, Babalawo has returned. The father has returned. Babatunde. Let's go. So, Babalawo, you've returned? Okay. Yet again, I've got certain things in my mind that I want to ask, and I know I'm pushing the barriers right now. So, Babalawo, have you returned? Okay. Omoshango, are you there as well? Are you able to speak? Okay. So, Brother Emu, I've got some questions for you then. I've got some serious questions for you. Are you available to talk? Yeah, you're available.
Oh, yes.
Excellent, excellent. So the question is, hot on everybody's lips. Why did you, choose to help out the Hebrew brothers? Shouldn't you have been on the side of the Kemetic community since you rep Africa, since you rep Egypt?
Well, it's really a long story. Almost Shango, he's gonna give a whole detailed answer on that. But for short, we had some information that was going to be taken from us. And we were told that the information was going to be taken from us and used in the debate. I did not agree that the information that I had should be used in the debate. Omosungo also did not agree. In turn, it was said, well, won't you hop in and help debate against the Hebrew Israelites? We declined from that because we do not do debates. I mean, as you can see with the Babalawo here, and the main focus of what we're talking about is the health and, you know, our people living a healthy life. So we're not into debating and argumenting and confrontation or stuff like that. We were bringing a presentation to explain why the hieroglyphs are translated the way they are, who started it, when it was started, why it was started, and why it was let into the country called America today. I'm just scratching the surface of what we will present on April 5th. But we have a whole presentation. Now, we weren't a part of the debate this side against this side. We were doing a presentation. And Omosongo, I don't know where Omosongo is, but he wanted to give some insight on some other parts that I guess that he saw in us helping Nasi, you know. And what we helped Nasi with was just a few things, asking questions here and there. I will let Nasi answer that for himself. But the key thing of the whole presentation was to bring unification. You know, whether you Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, who cares? You melanated, let's get it together as a whole and build something and really do something. Then we can deal with the different ways that somebody believes something or wants to call on a name, or the way somebody sees an object on a wall or translation on the wall and want to say it the way they want to say it. We could deal with all that later, but we need to get it together. Now, Omosongo, can you go in on, I don't know if you heard the question.
Please refresh the question for me, please. I'm taking care of an emergency situation. It's as a pipe in my house as a leak, but so I'm in and out. But please tell me what is the question, and I'll gladly answer it.
Okay, so the question is, you know, shouldn't you have been siding with the Kemetic community since you both rep Kemet, you both rep Africa? So why was it that you went over onto the Hebrew side and decided to aid the Hebrews exactly?
Okay, first of all, Amun and I do our show. We have a very open forum. We're always open, and we invite respectful, dignified dialogue. Now, with that dialogue, we allow opposing views, and we work with the opposing view because our wisdom guides us to find common ground. We have diverse beliefs, diverse ideology, but when you are spiritual cultivated, you go beyond the surface and you get to the core. Now, we were approached. Before, I was polite and did not care to mention names. But since everyone heard we were to make the presentation in the debate, I've noticed that people are challenging Black Lotus civilization without presenting what they want to challenge us on, they're making assumptions without first contacting us and ask us directly, how were you involved? Why were you involved? And then, if you don't like the answer, and if there is something relevant to what we presented in our radio show, you can question or challenge what is presented. We did not get to present in the debate. Okay? So now we have all sorts of disrespectful challenges without having a clear insight as to our involvement. So, just to let everyone know, recently, Brother Reggie took it upon himself to make a bold statement, which is very disrespectful, in saying that the Hebrew side took our hitmen. I am not nobody's hitman. That's disrespectful. It is out of place. Brother Reggie does not, I'm a self-employed business owner. Brother Reggie could not even attempt to possess the means to have some sort of contract with me to do any nonsense. I don't even know why someone who is supposed to be a scholar wants to use gangster-like terminology. It's out of place. It's indignified. And then they want to say they represent a spiritual tradition that is ancient. Well, okay, let's ask ourselves this question. Everyone is representing Kemet. Where in Kemet did you find a thug? Where in Kemet did a pharaoh hire a hitman? Or a high priest who is one who is spiritually high? Do you see the undignified, disrespectful conduct? Huh? Am I still on?
You are on. We're listening.
Okay. Do you see what I'm talking about? Now, this same Brother Reggie came on our show when we had a show to do our scheduled broadcast and topic. He invited himself on the show to bring to us a document of my Hepri, which was a reference to Petemru. My Hepri being the very black in complexion Nile Valley African displayed on this document. And he came and invited himself on our show to discuss for us to translate the document. Now, there are some theories he had concerning my Hepri, and he thought that he struck it rich. That theory was he thought my Hepri somehow would be the true Manetho, to which I told him that's impossible. Manetho is in the Ptolemy time of the Greek, so-called Greco conquest or takeover of the throne of Nile Valley. My Hepri cannot be in any shape or form Manetho. So there is no Eureka. You got it. And on the show, he tried to get us to translate it. I did not trust in translating the document. I found that his intent was to glorify himself and have us put in the work for him. I discussed this with Amun, and I said, we're going to stay on focus on our show and let him talk. To which we did, and then after he was finished, we continued with the subject of our show. Then we were in the discussion of the Appian, which is a criticism against the priest contra Apionem, which is a criticism against an Egyptian priest, Apion. At that time, after the show, Brother Reggie came to me with an almost threatening request. The request was, first he discussed the candidates for the debate who are debating and antagonizing the Hebrews. Then the discussion went from, oh, it's you guys who really should go and debate them. To which I said, I have no problem with debating these Hebrews that they're challenging. Number one, here's why. Shaka Amos challenged Tazariak on the streets. Tazariak told him, if you can show me in the Kemet culture, that is a culture that can answer the problems that face so-called black people in America, that is much more sound and balanced than the approach.
Okay, it seems like everybody's internet is just cutting out at the wrong time. Just when it's about to get juicy and turn up, and we're gonna find some type of drama that's going on. My brother Reggie, I love you so much. I don't know why your name is always dragged into this, and I apologize if you catch any feelings from this. You know, I love you from my heart, you know. But with this show, we leave it free and open for everybody to be able to voice their thoughts and opinions. Brother Emu, if you could possibly send Babalawo the link to get back into the show, because he's currently unable to get back into the show. So if you could send that off to him, you know,
as soon
as possible, please. You know, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. You know, we're getting an insight into the behind the scenes of the Kemet on trial debate. Just when you thought that season was over, with people reappearing, you know what? I think we might even have to, you know, get the Amon Ra squad back into the studios. We might have to get some Hebrew Israelites back into the studios and go through and go over a critique of the debate. Who actually won that February the 8th momentous debate? Was it the Hebrew Israelites, Qawm Yasha'Allah, or was it Kemet? Was it the Kemet community? Did they really stand up, you know, and deliver that death blow? You know, I have to give my shouts to the Magi himself, archers, arrows up. My brother Divine Prospect, salute to you. Shaka Ahmos as well. Hey, you know, the whole community was standing up that day. Brother Polite with these, you know, wonderful theatrics. It's always a pleasure to actually watch him debate. You know, putting those ones there where he just jumps on the plane to go to Egypt and traveling through the different pyramids and going through, you know, literally the whole of Egypt. So that was wonderful for the community to actually see one of the brothers who are, you know, recent or who are, you know, right now part of the younger bunch actually traveling to Egypt and exploring Egypt. I think a lot of us would love to actually get a chance to go to Egypt and explore Egypt itself. I'll tell you now from first-hand experience, Egypt is a wonderful place to go visit. I think it's the most, you know, I think it's one of my most frequent holidays that I go on. I literally go at least, actually we kind of cut back, but it's usually at least twice a year. We used to actually go at least twice a year to Egypt. You know, and I think, you know, if you really want to actually go and see the culture, I would suggest you go to somewhere like Luxor and Aswan to visit. You actually see the culture, that living culture of the people, you know, that actually still hold on to the traditions of it as well. Cairo is beautiful. It's got the pyramids. If you want to go there and see the pyramids as well, you know, that's literally about it, unless you want to see the Islamic sites as well. you know, what's going on? Babalawo, why is he not back in? He's blocked. He's blocked
Yeah, he's
somehow.
blocked. He's trying to get in. Said he
Ah,
can't get in.
okay. So I have to send my apologies. I'm going to try to invite him personally to come in. So bear with us, people. Just bear with us. We're going to get everything up and running again. How about our brother Omoshango? Is he there or is he gone? Okay. So I'm going to ask the panel. Does the panel have any questions to ask the Black Lotus civilization? Do they have any questions to ask the Babalawo? Do they have any questions to know about the Ifa system and the Kemet on trial debate? So I'll open it up to the panel.
Yeah, I wanted to know whether the Babalawo thought the potency of the Orishas is somewhat depleted since their inception because of the low frequency uses. So let's say people using the Orishas for doing harm to other people or rituals for money, doesn't this slow down the overall frequency of the Orishas, thus giving them a lower potency?
That's a
Okay,
good
okay,
question. I'd have to have Babalawo answer that one.
okay. Wow. I think we're having some technical difficulties in getting our brother back into the studios. So I'm going to ask you, brother. Could you let us know about, you know, I think it's April the 5th. You have something coming up.
Yeah, April the 5th we'll be in New York, and we're gonna do the presentation that we were gonna do on February 8th.
Okay. Could you go into some detail about that presentation? What exactly, you know, did you have in store for us?
We're still waiting on location from Brother Nasi. But the presentation is going to be the, like I mentioned earlier, the who, where, what's, whens, and hows of the whole translations of Metanetter. When was it first being done? Who were the first people? And who is there now? Even later this evening, we'll be doing a second show on the Beja people. So we'll be, we're going to go in on the 5th of April and give more details into, okay, this is what they've done, and this is what we see now. And it's going to be, this is what the people who are there in Egypt have to say, and this is what Egyptologists have to say. And it's going to be who uses what the people in Egypt have to say today, or who is using what the Egyptologist has to say. So we'll be bringing that information. Omosongo, he has a couple surprises. I'll announce it now. We will have a sister coming from the continent on April 5th, who is going to go further into detail of the evidence. And not this month, but it might be after we do our presentation on April 5th. But I had the privilege of living with a Beja from 2007 to 2011, and I will be bringing her on the show, and also the goal is to bring her to the presentation on April 5th. And her name is Rita Elowa.
Okay, so she's actually from the Beja tribe itself.
Yes.
Okay, is she currently living in Eritrea, Ethiopia, Sudan? Whereabouts is she, you know, country-wise from?
She's from Cairo.
Cairo. Okay, wow. Wow, so we have the traditional ancestors of the ancient Egyptians, some would say, coming in on your show, and that would be really interesting. I would love to actually get a chance to speak to her as well.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, I'm sorry. I got. She wrote a book called "The Dead Don't Speak." It's a very interesting book.
okay, dead don't speak. Okay. Just give me 1 second. We're just trying to get the Babalawo back into the studio. They're just having difficulties at the moment. Just give us a short while.
Can I ask a question, please, bro?
Okay, yes. Brother Issa, just let me bring you into the broadcast. And yes, go on, ask away.
Okay, brother, I just wanted to know, in relation to what I think it's either Brother Shango was saying on a either previous show, but I heard him say that, I think it was the hangout that you all done yourselves, and he was mentioning that the brothers, let's say from the Amun Ra squad, etc., that they don't use the traditional African languages to translate the Medu Neter. Now, that definitely isn't the case, because we know Brother Alsa, we know Brother Ruja'u, and Brother Smash or Jonathan. They do use the traditional African languages. I believe it's the Bantu and the Beja, and I think it's Kalinj, Kalenjin or something like this. So
Kalenjin.
Sorry?
Kalenjin.
Kalenjin. So this is what I'm saying is, now that, let's say, we know, I don't know if you found out since, but if that's the case, would you agree that they are doing it correct, or do you still say they're doing it incorrect?
Well, it's not that I say they're doing it incorrect. You know, this has never been my words. I only repeat what my Beja friends tell me, or other friends who are part of nations that are in Egypt that I will mention and will be bringing on April 5th. And Beja, I would like to clear this one up so everyone knows. In fact, Beja, even though I mentioned it now, it is not the name of the people who live in Egypt call themselves. In fact, Beja is a negative term that foreigners call them, and people who speak a foreigner language, like the Bedouin in Berber. They have many names that they call themselves. You have the ones who are more Muslim. You have the Helengas, the Hedareb. You have the Ama'ar. You have the Hidendoa, or the Hidendiwa. Okay. Just to name a few. There's many more. And they have different dialects. So this is just one group. And majority of them, they live in a part of Egypt, which people will say is South Egypt. And they also live along the Red Sea coast, all up and down Egypt.
Okay. But would you say that basically, because I think it was Brother Shango.
Oh yeah, Shango's back with us.
Oh, is he? Okay. Brother Shango.
Yes, I lost my line because we have an electric problem on this entire grid on the block. So bear with me. I apologize. I was elaborating on how we got involved on the Hebrew side. I don't know when did I get cut off. I was discussing that we were approached by Brother Reggie. Did anyone hear me discuss in detail?
Yep, we heard some of the detail.
Where did I leave off? Where did I get cut off? Okay.
You went past saying a gang. I think the last thing was similar, something about him. Why would somebody from the spiritual tradition be using kind of gangster language? You mentioned about, you know, have you ever heard of a priest in ancient Egypt trying to be gangster or something like that?
Well, sure.
I think
has there ever been in African spiritual tradition any language or threatening language that sounds like the gangster images or imagery or language of today. For Brother Reggie to go out in the public and say that the Hebrews stole their hitmen, to me is a very disrespectful, it lacks honor, it lacks character, it shows a very low, degraded nature. It draws up all sorts of negative imagery that we, who represent the pure, clean, spiritual tradition or spiritual culture, whether you are Muslim, Hebrew, Christian, or traditional African spirit, we have a problem, and that problem is the Hollywood creation of the thug, the player, which is in culture. It predominates the imagery of African people. And for a responsible so-called scholar to use that sort of language gives no honor to the spiritual traditions or the ancestors that they claim to represent. Remember, they claim to represent Nile Valley culture. Do you see the language they use? It's offensive. Furthermore, Amun and I are self-employed. Our brother Reggie can never have the means to manipulate or use us as some desperate men that will follow his a hitman. First of all, Brother Reggie is the one responsible for us being involved in debate. Now, when we were doing our work, we create an environment where anyone can come on, whether your views are opposing or supportive. We look for common ground and insight to the spirit core of the matter. So it gives a person a welcome mat to express themselves. Brother Reggie came on our show and he asked the question to Amun, would you debate Amun Roscoe? To which Amun told him, we represent the same thing, why would I debate them? Then he asked us, would you debate the Hebrews, because whoever is available to debate the Hebrews, in his own words, they were incompetent for the task. That's his own words. So you guys should step up and do the debate. To which I answered, Tazariak was challenged by Shaka Amos on the streets. And Tazariak told him, I would leave this book if you can show me in the Nile Valley culture that this provides a solution to the so-called black man's problem in America, to which this book has given me the solution. But if you can show me a better path, I will abandon this. Now, I ask you the question, is that anti-African? Is that anti-Kemet, anti-Nile Valley civilization? No, it's not. It's an invitation to show me what you're speaking, what you represent, that it's a better way than this book, the Bible, the Torah. That's not threatening anything African or Kemet civilization or culture. Hasha was put to debate on the streets with, I don't remember his name, a young guy. And in the beginning, Hasha made it clear that there's some interference. Hasha made it clear. He said, those of you that represent Kemet, the Kemet path, As long as you represent it from the heart, I respect you. Now, in that statement, is Priest Hashar saying he's anti-African or anti-Kemet, anti-Nile Valley civilization? No, he is not. Nasi Yashaval, although he debated SETI, in none of his statements did he ever made an anti-African or degrade Kemet civilization in his previous discussions. But Nasi Yashaval had to respond the way he did because you see, before the debate, they were making fun of two Hebrews who were not knowledgeable and making claims about homosexuality in the Bible and making claims about the eating of children in the Bible. So naturally, if you challenge a man's belief and the claims you make against that belief, if he finds whatever evidence he can find or bring a counter argument to...
Hold on, hold on.
Okay, okay, so one second, everybody. So if you haven't actually subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. Literally just up there, just hit that subscribe button just there, because we're about to actually close this section of the show, and we're going to go into another section of the show, the section of the show that we don't actually air live on the YouTube. Okay, so if you haven't already subscribed, I'm going to implore you again, please hit that subscribe button so you can get the number to ring in to hear more of this information. Also, if you don't, if you also want to hear more of this information, just go onto the Facebook group, Talk with the Titans. I will leave the number there so you can call in and hear this information. But we're going to just close this section of the show and leave that section for those people who are already subscribed or inside of the Facebook group to hear this critical information. Okay? So I'm going to actually ask the brothers if you have any last closing remarks. And Brother Omo Shangu, can you just hold on tight to what you're about to say? And we're going to go into this to the next part of the show. So if you've got any closing remarks for the people who are watching right now live, what do you have to say to them? Brother Amun and Brother Omo Shango.
Yeah, Omo Shango, you with us? Echo.
Okay. So if you got anything closing to close with us, Brother Amun.
It will kind of go into the question that was being asked. Like the language that was being, you know, named. There are so many languages in Egypt that are spoken. And about 20 to just say a minimum. So it's like, which language? Not all of them sound the same. They're different. And, you know, Black Lotus Civilization, we're here to bring unification, and we're about peace and helping. We have people that we're a part of that are Ubuntu, who are helping people in South Africa, who are connected, and she works through Credo Mutwa's village. We also have Olaware, who is newer, she's out in Kenya right now, but she's from Sudan. And she also grew up in Uganda and has adapted many other cultures. She's building a facility in Kenya where we will teach the world African history. And we have Babalawo, Nigeria, where we'll be bringing brothers and sisters in to be initiated.
All right, Omoshango, that was beautiful to leave off actually on the show. Is he there? So yeah, if you want to hear more of this great information, actually just look below as well. I'll leave you in the description box for those who are listening right now. I'll leave you in the description box just down below. Just look down below. You know, just type in that you want the link. Just type in you want the link in the comment section. And I'll leave the link for you in the description box down below. So just tell me you want the link first, and then I will leave you the link. And also, if you're on my Facebook group, just go on the Facebook group. I will, you know, give you the number on there to call up as well. So, this has been Talk with the Titans, and we've just had the Orisha African religion explained. I'm sure we have to get these brothers back into the studio, you know, to kind of answer those unanswered questions. Unfortunately, the Babalawo's phone, you know, died off, the connection died off, and, you know, we've got NEPA to blame for that fault. Right. So, anyway, I've been Kalam L, and this has been Talk with the Titans, and I'm signing out. Peace and love to you all.